Ya venían para acá.
Miri, está intentando Íñigo que se escuche el vídeo. Si se escucha, cuando lo tiene que poner,
No lo podemos, es que además no hay tiempo. Sí, se puede poner mañana en la reunión. Para acá. Estamos pidiendo. Vale. Muchas gracias. Ahora.
nada, te he dicho Miri que no.
¿Tiene vídeo?
Que sí que están viniendo, a ver si es verdad.
¿Y los que están aquí? Luego me la paso. Pues vamos a empezar.
Sí, creo que sí. No sé si se puede poder. Pero nos da igual en Aiis, ¿vale?
Hoy, Roberta. Hola, Roberta. Todavía, que no hemos hablado, pero no. Mira, eso son los demás, ¿no?
No, ya me encargaré yo de... No, que se quede hecho.
James falta.
We are missing James, which is the moderator of this discussion panel.
Yes, no.
It's coming, yes, okay.
It was here.
Okay.
No, porque...
La sala de exposición, ¿dónde está? La sala de exposición es que no encontramos la
edificio, en otro edificio, para los pasos.
para saber dónde puede estar.
Yo la he visto por aquí, un momento. Aquí nos metemos.
¿De eso quieres, no?
No, de James Cook.
Espera.
No es así. Eran dos chicas. ¿Quieres que lo sea? James, pero no lo comentamos.
Sí, sí, que te cuesta.
Internet, you have to Internet, you have to press the red key, the red key, the photo.
Hello. We are now having the panel discussion. So we have some higher educational institutions and companies collaborating for medical students training. It's my pleasure to introduce, and apologies if I mispronounce pronounce the names, but we have David Jimeno, R&D Vice President of Neuroflix. Miguel Sanchez Gonzalez from Arsoft, Jose Pisano, VR AR developer from Arsoft, and Roberto Lopez, founder and CEO of Artalinks and neural designer. Okay, so we have a few questions which we'd like to get their opinions from. So the first question is, what is your view on artificial intelligence in healthcare, and how important do you think it will be?
Well, at Arsoft, we believe that these skills in healthcare are being very important because healthcare is one of the main problems on our daily lives, and we are approaching new solutions and biggest problems like the cure cancer or things that we are very afraid of. So in Arsoft, we understand this problem, and we are trying to introduce new technologies like virtual reality and augmented reality to help doctors and professionals of the sector to develop these problems and try to integrate them like in a different way, just in case for them to make the problem easier. Just in the case that we are trying to make some specific problems like interventions that Miguel will talk about because we have a main solution that is called NextMed that will help doctors to planify and automatize these things.
Yeah, so the AI and soft skills are very important for the medical professionals, because AI helps AI helps the professionals to automatize and improve the service that they offer. So they have to try to help. Sorry. I'm a little bit nervous. They need to improve this service to offer the health patients a better. No problem. So,
Yeah, okay, we can come back in a moment. Thank you for that. Roberto?
Okay. I think that during the last years, thank you. I think that during the last years, researchers have found many applications of artificial intelligence in medicine, but this application, they are not still being used in the daily life of clinicians. So I think that the next step is that the companies, they produce products, they create products that deploy these applications and make them useful for the medical doctors. I think this is more or less the future.
Everything related with artificial intelligence is probably the most hot trend. So, well, I mean, I don't think, mainly seeing the audience here, I'm going to discover anything new if I say that. I mean, I think artificial intelligence is going to impact every single aspect of our lives, and healthcare is not going to be an exception. We need to be prepared for that because there are a lot of changes coming. I would like to focus today in one thing because I was thinking quite a lot about this roundtable. And I think one important aspect that we should not forget is that at the end of the line, at the end of the day, we are going to be dealing with people. And every day we are going to be surrounded more and more with technology, screens, computers, robots, and all that kind of stuff. But I think we have to make the effort to communicate with the people that it's at the end of the line and healthcare that we are dealing with patients, people that have problems and they want their problems solved. So it's important, and I think the importance of that is the other subject of this roundtable, soft skills. I mean, I'm not so familiar with other countries, but I think in Spain we have, that's a pending task. How can we learn? How can we practice soft skills? How can we communicate better with the people? Because it's very important also that the people know the huge leap that artificial intelligence is going to suppose. Otherwise, we run the risk of people thinking that all these new technologies are more of a problem than a solution. I mean, we are seeing already these days a lot of problems with fakes and personalities and stuff like that. So it's important to communicate to people that all these technologies will allow us to progress much faster. But at the end of the line and at the end of the day, is going to get faster medication, better treatments, better diagnosis. So I think that we have to keep that in mind. All the technology is awesome, it's great, and I'm sure all of us are aware of the huge advantage.
It's very important, and as you mentioned, it's only going to get more. David mentioned it's going to affect all areas of our life. Do you have or the best way to educate people about this or prepare people to do this? How can we? Because already students have so much to learn. How can we educate people about this?
Well, education institutions have main role, and not only higher education institutions, but I think both of artificial intelligence, new technologies, but also soft skills should be present there, of course. But that training has to happen much earlier. And as I said before, I don't know in other countries, but in Spain, that's something that is not in the schools right now and not even in university level. So practicing soft skills and basic knowledge of all these technologies much sooner. Otherwise, when you're dealing with people like me, it's much harder to convince and to communicate.
Okay, thank you, David. Okay, yes, I think that medicine is a multidisciplinary science. It comprises biology, pharmacy, but it is becoming more and more multidisciplinary, and mathematics and computer science are becoming very important in the use of medicine and the application. So I think that universities, they should also take account of that and create more subjects about mathematics, statistics, computer science, medical studies, because these disciplines are becoming more and more important in the use of medicine. So I think they should do that.
Thank you.
Well, as David said, it's not only universities and professionals that should be the ones learning new technologies, because we are seeing our kids and younglings using TikTok, smartphones. So it's an easy thing. We are normalizing and we are giving our kids new tools that we haven't had when we were young. So it's our task as developers or as engineers try to make all these difficult stuff like the artificial intelligence or the programming, like everyone is afraid of coding, and give the normal user new stuff and new tools that are easy to use. So it's not only the give of a university or a soft skills to make these things, to force people to use them. It's more like to make our grandfather use Facebook maybe and make him seem that it is not a dangerous problem. So, as developers, we are trying to fix this, and it's our mainly task. But main soft skills for this is the enthusiasm for learning new things, and don't be afraid to develop and try to understand what is coming, because the future is becoming really fast.
Yes. And coming back to the main question, I think that the, the best way to train the people on AI is to teach them a good background about how AI works, so they can fully understand the of the AI, and they can teach the other people how it works and how can improve their lives.
Thank you all for that. Yeah, I guess to try and summarize some of those points, that more maths, more IT in this study anyway, but if we can start preparing people for this in younger years, it would be even better. And so we need to make it accessible so that the grandfather or grandmother can use it. And once that they get familiar with it, but then also so that they're not scared, they don't see it as this always a threat, although they do need to still be aware of some of the threats as well. So do you have any opinions on creating this learning program to educate students where they're entering this VR Eduverse world, our AIS verse, and so they can engage in self-led learning programs, and they've also had challenges so that they collaborate well. Do you have any opinions on how the best way to, or some other ideas about how it would be good to train people on artificial intelligence and soft skills?
Yeah, I think that all the companies should work together to offer the students and practice from start on the AI and all these new technologies. And practice and grow from the forum to be better professional.
And furthermore, instead of, because we are at companies, we just focus on our products and trying to make things better for our way. But it is also a task for the teachers and professors on the university on how to apply these new projects and these new technologies. And that's future of our kids. So if we have, like Miguel said, a nice base, this should be an easy way for developing the of AI.
Well, I think one of the most steps here is how do we train teachers? I mean, at the end, professionals need to be trained at school, and that happens through the teacher. I mean, through, training teachers and teaching them how do they transmit all that knowledge to the students. I think it's very important, because if we fail in that step, nothing is good. Uh, teachers crucial step. And I think that from the developer of the technology, it's also very important to be transparent. I mean, most of us, we don't need to be an expert in artificial intelligence, but do we need to know some basic stuff in order to know what are the risks or what are the problems, what are the limits. So it's very important that we know how it works, some basic label. Um, and, and that's important also for people that need to teach the students. So they have to know what do they have to teach. And it's not going to be the same for medicine school that for a pharmacy that probably will be working later on designing molecules to treat pathologies, or with nursery in schools that they have to deal more with patients. So I think universities or higher education institutions have to select very well the type of knowledge that their students need. And I think the companies are also responsible to make that transition as smoothly as possible.
I think that there are already many fantastic tools and courses on artificial intelligence in medicine. And what we need to do is to conscientiate the students that this is an important field, because it will become more and more important. So from the university, for instance, I think that now statistics and that subjects are not very popular among the students, so the university they should the university that thinks statistics, as I said before, on the basis of mathematics and statistics, as I said before, and then they can get courses and understand everything and get ready for that new topic.
Thank you. Yeah, so I think obviously in this room we all believe that artificial intelligence is going to be important in medicine, but I think, as you were saying, also maybe need to stress that to students as well, because then some students might not actually be aware of how important.
Students have to be prepared to be open-minded, to be absorbing all this new knowledge, and need to have some skills that they already need, some skills in order to absorb of this.
So we've spoken now about the importance of artificial intelligence and sort of different approaches that universities can take, but maybe we can focus a bit more on companies. How can companies help to improve artificial intelligence and soft skills?
Well, I don't know what you are talking about, companies responsible for the development of the technology. Or
It could be
let us know what's inside of that technology, how it works, what are the limits, and so on. And if of companies that we don't develop this type of technology, and in that sense, I think the relationship between companies and education skills, multidisciplinary really important. This for years now. People is not going to be ready for or so trained for some species.
Is to be open-minded.
Welcome to skin with
People on the internet, maybe. So, because AI very achieve 2 million with men, white men, most of the cases,
For explaining my discourse. Because behind the condition, as in the rest technical things. Then, in my classes, we discuss about technical. We are discussing about technical skills. Everyone that comes into play, responding, because we are not, we performance. And then everybody can see, and we say, no, it is hard skill, soft skills, and what are they? And this mission is competence, technical competence. Competency is my personal traits in the past. I mix everything and I act. You are respecting because you know how the artificial intelligence, because I'm user and unusual sometimes, and create. If your question is wrong, the answer probably is that person skills evaluation. But what is happening when you, in theory, we can obtain a formal evaluation? Good question. But I always say to my students, teach what you preach.
and then when I was a student here, studying computer science, I used to get some working for doctors, just doing that. A leader with different skills, also fine-tune, will be able to give us a very good solution. But to know out of
satisfaction. So there is a need to maintain soft skills such as empathy, important. So because you were saying, well, it's not.
to create for all our first year students of all our subjects.
Have food not in this building. We have to move to the IDI building.